Hey y'all, Jim Pankey here, and I want to talk to you today about something a little different. It's not necessarily about what notes to play. It's about the notes that you're not playing. Those are important. And I'm not really talking about note selection. You know, a lot of times, you'll hear people say things about, well, music is about the space between the notes and sound, try to sound smart. And sometimes maybe they're right, but what I'm talking about is being careful and being picky about how your fingers find their way to the certain notes on the fingerboard. Hey, before we go any further with this, I'd like to, one, remind you that your subscription matters. So if you've not subscribed, I would really appreciate it. Just hit that subscribe button and don't be afraid to hit that thumbs up button. That's helpful. It just makes me feel good. And if you leave a comment below, if this is the type of information that you like, man, I like to hear from you. I like to know how you're doing. And another thing, if you're just now finding me, let's say you just bought a banjo and you're just now finding me, I want to remind you that I've got a beginner banjo series. As a matter of fact, I've got two of them. I've got one that goes into a lot of great detail and covers a lot of information. It's helped a lot of people learn to play already with that. And then I have another one that I call my Bluegrass Banjo in a Minute series, in case you're like me and got, a little tiny attention span. So be sure to check those out. Hey, thanks. Now, let's talk about what I'm trying to say here, because it's not a complicated concept, and I know a lot of you get focused on the notes that you're playing, because like in that little demo here, I don't know how much you can hear ring, but I know. So if I play, I'm just going to play one note here. I'm going to play the third string at the 12th fret. Hear how the banjo rings? See, let me stop everything. And now play that note. Hear how that rings? It's not just that note. As a matter of fact, I can stop it, but you can still hear the banjo ringing. You're looking for that. That's what we're looking for. So on each one of those notes, see how everything's ringing? Everything's ringing together. That's important. And that's one of those things that you hear Earl do. But you may wonder, it's like, how is that tone just so bubbly and so round? It's because he's being real careful about his finger placement, where he's only touching the string that he's after, and he's making sure that he's not touching other strings. So like that first note of Sally Ann that you'll hear all of that ring together. That's not just that first string. It's not just that. It's hear all of that ring together. He's careful about that. Hear all of that ringing together. That's important, and that's a big portion of how you're going to control your tone. You've got other strings that ring even when you're just touching one string. But if you're careless and you touch other things, see, listen to that. Here, that's not ringy because I have been sloppy. And y'all know I hate to show you the wrong way to do something, but I really couldn't think of a better way. So what I've done here is I'm still holding those two notes. But listen, if I Do you hear the difference? Can you hear that? Those are the same, I'm playing so what I'm playing here is the 12th fret at the 4th string and the 2nd string. So if I, and I've killed everything else but those 2 notes. So you by leaving those open, and you use that in banjo signal. I've got a lesson for that. I'll leave a link for that lesson. But if I'm not careful and I touch other strings that I'm not necessarily picking with my right hand, but they could ring sympathetically, then it changes the tone. So listen to this. Compared to now, that's super subtle. All I've done was change one string. I made sure that that 3rd string is open. So I go with, this is with the 3rd string, nothing's touching it. But if I touch that 3rd string, listen. You can hear it when I stop that string ringing. I just touched it. So that's important compared to it's a little different. I know. It's subtle, and it's just this one little bitty thing. And do you have to do it, or do you have to think about it? No. And this is not something that I started thinking about 30 years ago. This is something that just kind of happened along the way. If you are wanting that bubbly tone up the neck and you're wanting a super clean sound, then it's important to really think about your finger placement and what you're touching and what you shouldn't be touching. And if you want those notes to be real bell-like and clear-like, then you don't want to kill anything. You want everything to ring together. So I get it. It's a very, very esoteric, very you almost don't hear it, but I think in the long run, it's something to start listening for. And it's I'll be straight up with you. It's very hard to demo without without a fancy microphone, and you might even need headphones. But if you're sitting right over top of your banjo like I am here, you will hear the difference. But I think it's important to be able to start to listen for that difference and be able to hear it, like in banjo signal. If I'm careless and I let my middle finger there touch that 4th string, it sounds to me, and I'm sitting over it, and I know it's going to sound different on the recording because, I'm not working with high-tech gear here, but it does sound different. Listen. Compared to, and all I've done was I've allowed this finger to touch that 4th string just ever so slightly. So it's dead instead of, so listen. And I'm just going to touch that 1 string. And I know you're hearing a lot of things. And if you're brand new to banjo, it may not be that noticeable. And that's okay. You will start to hear these things. Let me play you just a little bit of Sally Ann, and I'm going to move the camera and let you hear that, and I'm going to be super careful not to touch anything else. And I think that you will hear that bubbly up the neck tone. All right, we're back up here. I hope all of that is helpful. I hope that's something that, one, you understand what it is I'm trying to tell you, and two, that it's something that you can work toward. It may not be something that you can solve today. And you're going to be thinking, well, now I've got something else to worry about when I'm playing up the neck. And sure, but it hopefully it gives you something to strive toward, a goal, something to think about in your tone production. And that's what this is all about. It's about the notes that you didn't play, but your banjo played for you. It's those harmonic, sympathetic vibrations that the other strings produce. And I mean, if you talk into your banjo, you hear those things, and that's part of the reason we like this instrument. And I know this is weird stuff, but it's helpful, and I hope it makes sense. And if it doesn't, don't worry about it. You can come back to it later. But I just wanted to share. All right, y'all. Talk to you later.